Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level ESL lesson, and today we're going to be continuing talking about relative clauses. Okay, so here are the members of the Blue Crew. So what does each member do? So it looks like John plays the drums, Mark plays the guitar, Frank sings, Steve plays the guitar, and Phil plays the piano. All right, so we're going to listen to Aisha talk about the Blue Crew, and then after you listen, you can match the two halves to make sentences.
The Blue Crew is an Australian band. The members come from Sydney. Since they first got together, which was in 2010, they have become one of the country's most popular blues bands. There are 5 band members: Frank Richards, who is the lead vocalist, Mark Power, who plays the guitar, Steve Knapp on bass, John King on drums, and Phil Coops on piano. The style of their music is what I would call classic blues, and the catchy tunes and simple lyrics fit perfectly with Frank Richards' gravelly voice. Their performance on Saturday night, which was for charity, rocked. Blues music at its best.
The Blue Crew is a band that comes from Sydney. Frank Richards is the band member who sings. John King is the musician who plays the drums. On Saturday, the Blue Crew gave a performance that was for charity, and they play a style of music which can be called classic blues. All right, so we're going to look at more ways to form relative clauses. So here are a few more connecting words. Each dependent clause begins with a connecting word. So we've already learned who. Kate is a person who works every day of the week. You can also use whom. That is the person whom we met last year. Whom is pretty formal. We don't really use it all that much anymore. Most people would just say who here, but sometimes in writing, you might have the need to use the word whom. Which, I learned that one last time. This is an invention which will change the world. That, this is a chocolate cake that my mom bought. You can also use when. I remember this summer when we traveled together. Where, this is the city where I grew up. And whose, this is Mary, whose son lives in Dunedin. So who, that, and which refer to people and things. When is used to introduce a relative clause that refers to time. Like who, which, and that. When can appear in defining and non-defining clauses. The festival takes place in November when the weather is dry and warm. The summer is a time when many people take a long vacation. Where refers to a place. Where often replaces here and there, which means at this place or at that place. This is Madison Square Garden. Many famous bands perform there each year. This is Madison Square Garden, where many famous bands perform each year. And Madison Square Garden is a place where many famous bands perform each year. All right, so now you can pause the video and complete these sentences with when and where, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. The late 20th century was a time when English became the world's most dominant language. The monsoon season, when it rains almost every day, lasts from November until March. The 1980s was a decade when superbands ruled the music charts. I know a place where we can buy tickets for the concert next month. In Sydney, the Rocks is a neighborhood where you can find historic colonial buildings. Istanbul, where east meets west, is one of the most interesting cities in the world. Temples, mosques, and churches are buildings where people meet to worship their gods. And the best time of day is the late evening when there is almost no noise at all. Now, whom is another connecting word. To understand the difference between who and whom, you have to understand subjects and objects. So I hired Jack. He was the best candidate for the job. We use who when the relative clause refers to the subject. He is the subject of the sentence. So I hired Jack, who was the best candidate for the job. Whom is formal, and today many people don't use it. We show it to you here because you will see it in writing. I hired Jack. I interviewed him last week. We use whom when the relative clause refers to the object. Him is the object of the sentence. So we could say, I hired Jack, whom I interviewed last week. Now, there are many other rules about how to use whom, but we won't show them to you in this lesson. Whom is falling out of usage, but we'll show you later how to use it in writing where it is still needed. Now, who shows possession. It replaces the possessive adjectives my, your, her, his, its, our, and their. Whose is followed by a noun of a thing that is possessed. The band became popular this year. Its members include Jack Warren and Jenny Redsmith. The band, whose members include Jack Warren and Jenny Redsmith, has become popular this year. I go to school with a boy. His mother is a well-known writer. I go to school with a boy whose mother is a well-known writer. Whose can be used to replace people or things. Some people believe that whose can refer only to people, but this is not correct. Shakespeare used whose for things, and that was 400 years ago. All right, so now practice. Create some sentences using the relative clause whose. You can pause the video, try that on your own, and then we'll start when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so number one, you could say, I talked to a man whose car was stolen last week. She just finished a book. Its ending was disappointing. She just finished a book whose ending was disappointing. We heard that 15-year-old singer, her song is new. So have you heard that 15-year-old singer whose song is new? It's a question, is a question mark there. This is a plan of a building. Its upper floor will be a luxury hotel. So this is the plan of a building whose upper floor will be a luxury hotel. William met a journalist. Her article was published in a major newspaper. So William met a journalist whose article was published in a major newspaper. Number 6, the police asked questions to a man. His dog attacked a child in the park. So the police asked questions to a man whose dog attacked a child in the park. All right, so listen again. Well, first you'll complete the sentences with who, which, that, when, or whose, and then listen again to check your answers, and then decide which sentence is correct but not true.
The Blue Crew is an Australian band. The members come from Sydney. Since they first got together, which was in 2010, they have become one of the country's most popular blues bands. There are 5 band members: Frank Richards, who is the lead vocalist, Mark Power, who plays the guitar, Steve Knapp on bass, John King on drums, and Phil Coops on piano. The style of their music is what I would call classic blues, and the catchy tunes and simple lyrics fit perfectly with Frank Richards' gravelly voice. Their performance on Saturday night, which was for charity, rocked. Blues music at its best.
Okay, so there are 6 band members who play in the Blue Crew. That one is the one that is false, because there's only 5. The band which originates from Australia, the band member who plays the bass on Saturday when Aisha went to see them, and the Blue Crew whose lead singer has a rough, low voice. Right, so now make a sentence by using the joining words who, that, which, where, or whose. And here are some hints to help you do that. First, you're going to find the noun or noun phrase in the second sentence that refers to the first sentence. Second is the noun or noun phrase in the second sentence of thing or a person. And third is the noun or noun phrase in the second sentence, the subject or the object. So I have a female friend, her name is George. So here, the noun phrase in the second sentence is her name. So name is a person or a thing, a name is a thing, and it is the subject of the sentence. So I have a female friend whose name is George. So go ahead and try these on your own and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So I have a colleague who can speak several languages. Peter, who is my youngest brother, works in Spain. This is a woman who is a successful lawyer. I have just finished a book that was almost 700 pages. This is the theater where I saw a Shakespeare play. And this is the woman whose passport was stolen yesterday. And you're going to make some more sentences by using the joining words who, that, which, when, where, or whose. Again, pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. He likes the shirt that I bought. Today is the day when I will start eating healthy food. We met that man yesterday who is a famous soccer player. We played video games, which are my favorite kind of entertainment. We ate the chocolate that my father baked. We live next to Mrs. Jones, whose children live abroad. Royal Albert Hall is a wonderful building where you can see great performances. 10 p.m. is the time when I go to bed. This is the restaurant where you can eat great sushi. and we went to the store on Saturday when it's only open between 9 and 3. All right, so relative clauses are challenging, and this lesson contains a lot of exercises which can be exhausting. If you can use relative clauses, your ability to speak and write in English increases quickly. Some people say you could learn good English without much grammar. For most people, that is just not true. You can learn a little bit of English without grammar. To understand relative clauses, you have to understand subjects and objects and their grammatical relationship between elements in different sentences. Learning relative clauses takes time, so don't give up. All right, so now listen to Paula and answer the questions.
Canadian band The Good Guys was performing for the first time in this country. The band leader, Gary Ferguson, who is known for his skill with the harmonica, just blew us away with his energetic, enthusiastic performance. We spent the whole night on the dance floor. I don't think there were many people in the audience who had heard of this band before, but by the end of the gig, the Good Guys had a legion of new fans.
So Gary Ferguson is the band leader who plays the harmonica. If something blows you away, it surprises you. Where did Paula spend her night? At the concert, on the dance floor. And according to Paula, the Good Guys were a group that many people didn't know well. So you should be feeling more comfortable with relative clauses. So skim the text quickly and find the two relative clauses. So who is known for his skill with the harmonica is one. And who had heard of this band before? Okay, now listen to the recording once and find the two relative clauses. It will be hard to recall the exact words, but what was the gist of the relative clauses?
Many of the people who bought tickets for the Shamrocks were longtime fans of this Irish band. The concert started well, with vocalist James Monroe working hard to inject some energy and connect with the audience. Unfortunately, I think we were all hoping to hear the music that has made them so popular over the years. The songs they performed, which were mostly from their new album, seemed to lack the immediate appeal of their previous work. To me, the performance was a little disappointing.
So we'll look first for the relative clauses. So who bought tickets for the Shamrocks? That's a relative clause. And that has made them so popular over the years, which were mostly from their new album. So those are the relative clauses. And then are these sentences true or false? So that's James McDonald is the singer of the group. That's false. His name is James Monroe. The concert didn't start well. That's false. It did start well. The audience probably wanted to listen to their most popular songs. True. The Shamrocks only played songs from their new album. True. And Courtney thinks that the performance was a little disappointing. That's also true. All right, so now use the connecting word to complete these sentences about the lesson. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So relative clauses, which are difficult to learn, are an important part of English. Relative clauses are an area of the language That requires an understanding of subjects and objects. My teacher, who is probably tired now, hopes that I enjoyed the lesson, and I've promised to complete my homework on relative clauses, which my teacher wants completed in a few days. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.